Hi people. Well, today I'm going to tell you some more about psychic dreams that I've had, but first I wanted to show you this. It's a wooden vessel that I got when I was in Brazil, and it's used to make the drink called caipirinha. They put sugar and lime and everything and they mush it up and they put the liquor in there. It's really good. So I wanted to show you that souvenir because I thought that was very cool. Very cool. So I meant to show you that on the Brazil video. But today's video is going to be about the dark side, one of the very dark sides of the psychic dreams that I've had. When I was like 14 years old, I started going with my boyfriend, who then became my husband later. And you know how you write notes to one another in school and everything? Well, after he died, his mother gave me a box of his things that he had down in his room in her house, and I found one of those football notes. You know, they're shaped like this. That you folded them up in school, and it said, third bell or something like that. And it said, "Oh, dear Mike, I had this horrible dream last night that you died. And your mom called me and she was telling me about it and she was crying and then I was crying and then it just went on blah, 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 blah." Well, I had sent that letter to him when he was stationed in Okinawa, and he had saved it all that time. So anyway, after about a year and, I don't know, 18 months or so, I think, he was in Okinawa, and when he came home we got married. And we went to North Carolina to spend out the rest of his time in the service. And one morning I woke up I was in that same, coming from sleep to a wakefulness. And I was streaming, tears were streaming, and I had one of those hard cries, those where you can't catch your breath, the kind of cry, and it was just so strong, and that's for real. I'm not dreaming this really happened, but I'm crying this hard because of the dream that I had, which was that he died. And he was in the shower getting ready to go to the base, and he heard me screaming and crying. He ran out of the bathroom. He came in the bedroom. He's like, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" And I told him about the dream. And he said, "Oh, honey, it's all right. I'm here. I'm not going to leave you. I'm never going to leave you again." He always promised he would never leave me again after he got back from Okinawa, because that was the longest time that we were apart. And he would always say he would never leave again. So anyway, this story might be a little hard for me to tell. I haven't told it. I don't remember the last time I told it. Well, anyway, so then another year or so goes by, and a year and a half or something, and we're getting ready to get out of the Marines. He's getting ready to get out of the Marines. He only has like 2 weeks left, and he came home from work on a Friday night, and it was a beautiful, beautiful day, and he was full of energy, and he was like, let's go home for the weekend. And I was like, okay, are you sure, because he said, well, we have to look for a house and everything else, so let's just go. So we hop in the car and we drive up to Ohio, and when we get to Virginia, and this voice, this is something I don't think I've told you about yet. The voices that speak to me, I know it sounds crazy, but it's really true. It wasn't you have a voice that it belongs to you, that's in your head, that's the voice that you think with or whatever. Well, this was something totally different. It said to me, tell him to turn this car around and go back right now. And I was like, yeah, right. Like he's going to do that. I knew he wouldn't. I looked at him and I thought, oh, that's crazy. I ain't going to tell him that. And I didn't say it. And that's something that I regret. That's something that I regret to this day. Because if I would have told him that, to turn the car around, he may have. But I kind of seriously doubt it, because he really wanted to come home. But But the voice was there and it told me to do that, and I ignored it. So we came home and our water pump broke on the car. So we had to get an extension on our lead. And had the water pump not broke on the car, we would have been in the car going back to North Carolina, and this wouldn't have happened. But trying to make a long story short, he was down at a park that we used to hang out with all our friends. And he was having a couple of beers with the guys, and this 17-year-old kid shot him through the heart. The kid had been going around with the gun at the park all day long telling people he was going to shoot someone. He was showing this gun off to these little children, and he was telling them that he was going to shoot somebody that day. So it was premeditated as far as I'm concerned, because if you're going around showing the gun to little children, telling them that you're going to shoot somebody, anybody, he didn't even know my husband, he just wanted to kill someone. And the judge let him off. Slapped his little wrist and told him not to do that again. It was bad. And I believe that was the beginning of all those kids going around getting guns, going to their school, shooting up their fellow students, their teachers, because the judges wouldn't do anything about it, because they were minors. Well, anyway, that's a whole nother vlog. But I'll tell you, there was another thing I was going to tell you about this, and it's what my girlfriend and I, we were leaving the park. We were going to go to her apartment, and we were going to fix dinner and let the guys hang down at the park for a while, and then they'd come back and we'd have dinner, right? So we left, and her husband came up to the side of the car she was on. I was driving, passenger's window, and he kissed his wife, and my husband came up and he wanted to kiss me, and I went, no. Because I was angry because he was drinking. I didn't want him to be drinking. And I said, no, don't kiss me. I don't want your beer breath on me. And that same voice that told me in West Virginia to tell him to turn that car around, that voice said, you'll wish he was here to blow that beer breath on you when he's dead and gone. And I was like, he ain't going to die. He's young. You know, I didn't pay any attention to that. And that's another thing that I really regret, because those were the last words I spoke to him, and I didn't even kiss him goodbye. And that was the last time I saw him. And that's really painful. And I'll tell you, I've really learned from that. It was a hard lesson, but don't ever leave. Don't ever leave any of your loved ones in anger. Never leave them in anger, because you don't know. It might be the last time you ever see them again. And I've carried that guilt with me for many, many years. Anyway, that was the psychic dream. That was dark. That's it.